Hello, everybody. Welcome to what is not the T&C Hysterical podcast intro that you're used to, but I just want to kind of come and say that honestly, the reason that you're getting this intro and you haven't had a video in 2 weeks is because we have been busy. Right now, Caden is currently in Deutschland seeing Eskimo Callboy, and he's been there for a few days, and I have been working on projects for my own YouTube channel, which have been eating up my time on top of starting a new job. So, yeah, that's why you're getting this intro because we just wanted to explain why we've taken a hiatus for a couple of weeks, but realistically, we're still here. We've just been swamped with stuff. There's some things in the back burner, so you guys will probably get 3 videos today. Lucky you. Um, yeah, so we just wanted to come by and obviously Caden in my stead or whatever the hell, vice versa. He's just saying, we're still here. Don't worry about it. We're not done making videos. We've just been busy. So once Caden gets back from Germany, he will have loads of stories, and I will be done with my projects here in the next 3 to 4 days. So once he gets back, it's business as usual. So today, you guys will be receiving this as well as 2 episodes of Overclock Life.
Down that way, so
Yeah, good idea.
all this.
Good idea. That's a smart idea.
Hey everybody, welcome to our T&C Hysterical podcast. I'm Caden, that's Trevor, and you know, this is really the only place that you can watch us suck dick.
I don't know why I was thinking something about sea monkeys all of a sudden, man. That's just great.
About sea monkeys. We can talk about sea monkeys today too.
We can definitely do that. Anyways, guys, good morning. What's going on? Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are very tired. This is like excruciatingly tired. So hopefully it'll make for a good episode, but we're waking up, so it'll be all right.
It should get better as we go.
It'll get better. You know, obviously per usual, we move the stuff around, but this one's hopefully gonna stick because we want it to be more conventional. It probably will be changed as far as cable management because I have cables under my ass. Caden has cables behind him, but we'll get it figured out.
It'll change again. It'll definitely change again. Every episode.
Every episode, that's the goal. We'll do it inside the upside down cable one of these times. God. I hate it here.
Damn. Alright.
Alright, here we go.
On
Hot.
that.
Oh,
No,
God.
that brings me PTSD from the first one.
Yeah. That one didn't air, but he had to hold it the whole time. I'm like, just hold it. And he's like, this is heavy. And I'm like, okay. But
Alright,
we're in
so
a better spot now, so.
yeah, today's episode we are going to start off on whether home theater is a good idea or not.
So I will just go ahead and start. And I'll make my point pretty clear. No.
I don't think so either, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept in theory, but you'd have to like want to watch a lot.
Well, and
Now that also depends on what kind of home theater we're talking about. Are we talking full-blown projector seating?
no, we're talking anything from like what I have to what you're thinking. But I still stand by now. And there's 2 very, very discrete reasons why. First off, space. Not everyone has like a dedicated space.
That's
Hardly anybody does, let's be completely honest. Like, it takes
Right.
up a lot of space. And then obviously the elephant in the room, price.
price is a bitch.
Price
I mean,
is a bitch.
Even if price wasn't an issue,
Space.
space.
Still be a fucking
And you really shouldn't be that attached to your TV. Get the fuck outside. Go do something.
Is it awesome though when you want to sit down and watch TV? Absolutely. Like,
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's fucking awesome to have, just that
yeah.
the surround sound, the bass and everything, but
Like, especially when you sat down and you watched that Andor with the Dolby Atmos and you were like, what the fuck? Movie night at Trevor's house. Like I said, it's super cool. Is it worth it? No. But that kind of leads to the alternative of what people do. You know, like a two-channel home theater system, like two towers or two speakers for like listening to music. I think that's like the hot take.
Now, I don't think it's. I'm not against upgrading your sounds from your TV speakers. I honestly don't give a shit, and I use my TV speakers.
Right.
Because it's good enough for what it is for sitting down, watching a show or two, and then getting up and going to do something else.
Okay, but if you didn't have annoying neighbors and you weren't renting a place.
Just don't even get me started on
I know, but that's why I'm bringing it up, because I think that if you had like a house or something, it'd be a lot different.
Now, I wouldn't put the money into anything for the TV though. I would just have a dedicated
That's why I said
surround music
that's
station.
why I said
But
but you can use that with the TV anyway, so it's like
that's also fair.
what would be the loss in it? That's the only thing that I see. But yeah, no, having something for music, absolutely. Now, are there benefits over home theater compared to something like what we talked about with headphones? Yes. The dynamic range is way better, and it's way cooler. Do I sit in my headphones more than I do my home theater? Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I know we kind of like ran over like why you don't need to spend a lot on amps and DACs and shit for like audio as far as like headphone listening. But for some reason I see those as like far more significant to me.
Well, and they are.
Yeah.
But if you never know how good it is, then fucking $20 headphones from Walmart work just fine.
Yeah. If you don't
To be quite honest.
Yeah. But then when you know.
It's never the same.
When you know, yeah, no.
When you know, you know.
Like I said, high fidelity audio, man, it's something else. It really is. You know, you can listen to that chug 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 on that Apple, those earbuds or whatever they are, but you listen to chug 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 on some Sennheisers, and that choo choo train leaves the station.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh my god. So no, like I said, home theater, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's a cool thing to have. Like I said, I sit down and maybe like at my TV once a day, and I watch YouTube videos, and YouTube's only 2 channels. Like I don't watch a lot of movies. It is, like I said, it is cool because once you start clicking on a movie or a show that supports it, it's like, yeah, it hits. It hits
right.
Nice, but I don't watch enough television to justify it. I really don't. Like I am watching Yellow Jackets right now, and that's it. And The Mandalorian, the new season, but like I past that, I don't watch TV. I really don't.
I watch, I'd say, an okay amount of TV. A few hours here and there. I don't really do a whole lot when it comes to watching movies. I think right now, I mean, I'm only watching parts and bits of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Just
that's one that I'm like holding my breath about. I'm like, I don't know if I want to start it because I know how deep that goes. Then I've got to watch House of the Dragon because House of the Dragon's better. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to start down that rabbit hole.
I like I said, I saw, because I first watched the first season of it when it first came out. Didn't really get my attention at all. And then, you know, Alyssa started watching it.
And so it was like,
again. So
yeah.
I rewatched like the last part of season 1, the middle part of season 2. I think I saw all of season 3 with her, and the last part of season 4. So I'm just kind of skipping a lot.
I'll have to hook you up with HBO or Paramount or whatever it is so you can watch Yellow Jackets.
We have HBO.
I don't remember which one it is, but Yellow Jackets is on one of them. But whatever one it is, like if you don't have it, I'll hook you up. No, like Yellow Jackets is like this show where it's this soccer team of girls. So they're flying to nationals, but their plane crashes. And I'm talking like their plane crashes like 100 miles that way from Duck Creek. Like it is the middle of fucking nowhere. They turn into cannibals. the woods are all fucking haunted and shit. But the thing is it goes to them like as adults, and they're fucked up, dude. Like, just the whole show is just like a mind fuck of like, what the fuck? Like, it's so good. It's so fucking good. You're like, I'm down. I'm down. Yeah. No, it's that's like the only show right now that I'm like, I'm gonna watch that shit. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, between that and, you know, The Last of Us, that's...
Well, The Last of Us is over now.
I know.
So that's over now. But like I said, The Last of Us. I was watching one of the game ranks guys talk about it, and they said, you know, compared to the game, it's good, but it just leaves you wanting for more. Because it's not, you know, it's obviously it's never gonna match that involvement as playing the game, and the game is so much more just fucking visceral, like you're just ripping guys' throats out, and you're just doing so much shit that's just fucking just grotesque almost, and you don't get that in the game.
You want to know
or you don't get that in the show.
I want them to make more of? Decent Halo movies.
Did they ever make a Halo movie?
There are several out there.
Halo movies. I've got to see this. Hold on. I think you're high.
But they're like...
Are you talking about like animated?
There's a few animated ones and a few live action ones. But they're not to, you know, rag on anybody, but they're pretty under budget.
Oh, okay. I guess there are. That's surprising. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I would enjoy them making like a TV series from, you know, start to finish.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, you know, and I was trying to think of one that would be really, really good as a TV show. You know, because it's hard to say because. At the same time, like if you look at other games like Resident Evil, kind of butchered them. So it's like I don't want them to ruin a franchise.
That's fair. Like I said, all those Halo movies are
kind of yeah.
They look like they were
mid.
Yeah. But you know, I was kind of expecting you to say, you know what, they should make a movie of Stray.
No, because. Stray's good, don't get me wrong. Very good. But I feel like the video game got the point across. Like, no, if there was a video game that I would want them to make a show out of, it'd be Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's that one that I showed you, that like animated one that you were like, holy fuck. That hyper realistic looking one kind of. I feel like that one would make a good show because A, the people who made it, they're animators. So they already know how to make that shit.
Right.
And B, I feel like the story was very wanting. Like, there was a story there, but it wasn't full. If that makes sense. So I feel like if they made that into a show, that would be cool. No, there's rarely any, like, video games that I could think of off the top of my head that I would think would make a good show. I mean, you know, you could like justify like the new Tomb Raiders, but they've already made a fucking shit ton of Tomb Raider movies. Yeah, you know, but then there's like weird stuff that I would just be curious to see. Like, what if they made a Borderlands movie? I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of shit that's like off the wall that would be like, that might be dope. That might be dope. You know, like
an Overwatch 2 TV show.
Yeah, I would watch it just for a fucking story. Like, just saying, I would watch it just for a story. I was thinking about that looking at the wallpaper too, but no, that would be interesting just to give it a story because I mean, I get it. It's like heroes versus bad guys saving the world. You know, like it's a cool premise, but like we talked about in other episodes, it is bare bones. Like at the end of the day, you know. But if there was like, dude, I mean, they just released Overwatch 2, but if they released like a story mode, I feel like me and you would be on that shit.
Because I mean, it's like when you go into Apex at the beginning of their season. Now we're not.
I know.
Fuck the game.
I know.
But they at least have a storyline.
I mean, same with Fortnite. Fortnite has this event that happens, and you know what? I get it too, but no, I just was shaking my head because Ludwig was live last night, and he's like, "Who's good at Apex?" And I was dying. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Because it's like everyone knows who's good at Fortnite. There's Ninja. And I mean, there's a couple of people, you know, and then Overwatch. There's a shit ton of people. Valorant, there's tens. There's a shit ton of people. But Apex, who's good at Apex? I'm not dissing on you if you're good at Apex. I'm just like,
nobody advertises it.
yeah, it's just one of those games that like blows my mind when you think about it. You just said that, and I'm just like, that's fucking funny. But no, I mean, yeah, you're right. Apex at least has this setup. And I mean, I know that like Overwatch has these events and shit, but I feel like there's more themes than storylines.
Right. And that's kind of the same with Fortnite too. It's more of a theme than a storyline.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Apex. That's probably the only thing I like about it. Now the story's kind of shit, but
yeah. See, like if they did like it, and this is the thing too, is like I know we've never really touched on this, and this is what we're talking about. Like, but as far as Overwatch, could it work as a single player? Because it's so reliant on you working with your team that's why it's like, I mean, sure, I do good as Tracer, and I mean, me and you at certain times can like straight up carry our team, but would it really work?
Are we talking like if they made a story mode?
I mean, yeah, either or, because that's why it like makes me think about it. Like even as just a premise for a movie or something too, it's like, but could it work? Because that's the thing is like, you're either picking someone like Tracer, who's super quick, but you know she dies quick, or you're picking someone like Diva, who's just a fucking pain. You know, that's why it's like, could it work? And I don't know. That's why it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up, because I was like thinking about that too, and I'm like, I mean, like I said, I would love story mode, but at the same time, I don't know that it would work. It'd be hard, because it would have to be like every different character would be in a different story, and that would be fucking cool. Like I'd be down with that 100%.
Now it would be cool if they did like, it'd be a cool intro to like every different person,
and let them
go
know
into
their
the story
and
you start from one, and you go into it, and then you finish that one and go into another one, and it just kind of follows down the line.
Yep, and then that way you get a better premise of who
can do what,
who
does what best.
Yeah, that like I said, that would be cool. Cause yeah, you definitely have to like make it so that way, you know, Diva and Reinhardt have to fight big guys. It's not fair otherwise. You know, you can't have them fight small guys and then Tracer fighting big guys or something like that. It just wouldn't work. So yeah, that would definitely be like a balance issue. We already know that Overwatch is broken for some characters as it is. So, but no, that's why I'm like, I don't even know if the story would work for something like Overwatch, just because it's so weird.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's kind of you know it's kind of like Far Cry too. Like a lot of people are like, Far Cry would make a good game, but I'm like, would it? Or no, Far Cry would make a good movie, but then I'm like, would it really? Because like, I don't know. It just like everyone bitches about Far Cry being the same, you know. And I mean, you know, you've got people, but then again, I could be wrong, because people made that League of Legends Netflix show, and everyone's like, it's fucking one of the best animes that anyone's ever made. So I could be wrong too.
To be honest, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is, and everyone said it was fucking amazing, I guess.
Okay.
So like I said, I've been proven wrong already. Not that League of Legends is a bad game. It's just I understand that it is way the fuck too complicated, and I'm not.
It's let's just say it's not a game for me.
Yeah.
I just don't like that kind of gameplay.
Yeah. Well, no, and I don't doubt you, because I don't either. I don't really like that game.
It's not really anything against the actual game itself, or
yeah, it's yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, I want to say it's RTS, but I don't think it's RTS. Real-time strategy. I don't think it is. But I know it's something like that. And I'm not.
Kind of is.
But like I said, but is it? Like that's why it's like it is, but it isn't. So that's why I don't know. I know it's different, but yeah, at the same time, no, I'm not a real time strategy fan. I don't like clicking and letting my guys go and fight. Like, I'm not about that. It's boring.
Yeah, all you do is just sit there and click.
If I wanted to do that, I would just play chess.
If I wanted to do that, I would download any fucking mobile game ever made.
No shit.
Just saying.
Yeah, no shit. No, but I get more enjoyment out of chess. Like, I legitimately will just hop on my computer and go to chess.com and just play. It's just fun.
That's a game I have not played in a very long time.
Hey dude, if we're streaming, chess.com, I'm telling you, it gets fucking aggressive, man. It's fucking dope, but yeah, no, chess.com. Or you can play FPS chess. That is the thing. Where you're playing chess and then like how if you're about to overtake a piece, you'll like spawn on the board as that piece with guns.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking cool, dude, but nah, so I don't know if I don't know if there's any games that I would say I would want made into a television show just because of fear of ruining it. Now, one that I think would be super cool, but I wouldn't know how they would work it, just because I wouldn't worry about them ruining it, would be Neon Fight. Speed running, you're a demon, fight with angels, like, it's a weird premise, and I think they can make it work. But the gameplay is where it's like, but it's all about speed running.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like,
They'd have to make it where it's not about the game
yeah,
whatsoever. They
yeah.
can use the characters
and even some of the story beats, yeah.
But it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a game.
That's why it was like, it's just so off the wall and shit.
But the only way that would make sense is if the speed running was some sort of competition or sport.
Fuck, at that point, it's just turning into John Wick Demons. I'm just being honest. Like that's legitimately what it's turning into. Is just John Wick.
I fucking can't with John Wick.
The new movie came out yesterday, and speaking of movies that I want to see. I want to so bad. I'm like, Abby, please.
Fucking kills me is in the first John Wick, where he's got his new fucking Mustang, whatever. He's fucking on the dock.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets that Mustang rammed off the edge, it has no transmission and no engine in it. Now understand that that's costly for them to fucking leave that in and drop it off, a fucking 40-foot drop, whatever it was. But it falls, and you see it rotate, and you can clearly see on the underside of the car that there is no engine, no transmission in that car.
Hey man,
I'm just saying.
Hey, see, that's kind of me too. Like, I will nitpick shit like that, but at the same time, I'm not there for like facts. I'm there to see him fucking kill people.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying I don't watch it on a fairly regular basis. I own the first 3 of them.
I do too. They're on my fucking
and I watch it
TV.
I'll watch it every once in a while.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean though. No, I'm excited for the next one. Especially since that actor died. The Bel Air guy, the black one. You don't remember? Or what his name is? Hold on, let me see. I'll show you on the phones.
On our fact checkers.
Yeah, Lance Reddick. He's dead.
Oh, he is?
He died like last week at 60.
Oh, shit.
60.
I did not know that.
Yep. So that's gonna be his swan song as John Wick 4. I was sad because he's Silas in Horizon 2.
That's right, he is.
So that's fucked up, dude. I was like, wow. Fuck. I was
Dude,
like,
I fucking saw a picture of Will Ferrell the other day. Holy fuck, that guy is old now.
yeah, time has not been nice to him.
When you fucking see guys like
he looks like fucking the scientist from Back to the Future now. Like straight up.
God, like,
I know.
It's saddening because that was, the childhood movies.
Dude, speaking of movie stars who I didn't know were fucking old as shit, the dude that plays Better Call Saul, whatever the fuck his name is, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Motherfucker is old! Like, I didn't know he was that fucking old. Like, Better Call Saul. Let me see. Better Call Saul. Whatever, sure. Who the fuck? What's his name? What's his Bob Odenkirk.
You gotta show me a picture. I can't
Bob Odenkirk.
think who that is. I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Oh, you probably haven't fucking watched any Breaking Bad or anything.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, he's Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, but he's in a lot of shit.
You know what I realized? The fucking the dude in Last of Us.
You're talking about Pedro Pascal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in
like
Game of Thrones.
He is.
I was just it popped in this and I was like, oh shit, didn't even know that.
So is Bella Ramsey. No shit. Bella Ramsey is in Game of Thrones as well.
Alright.
Like dead ass. I didn't know that because I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I never tried.
I just never realized how many people were in it.
Yeah, for real though. Like that's the thing that kind of blows my mind because I'm like, really? Okay, cool.
Alright.
Yeah. So no, there's a lot of fucking shit that's like cool. Pedro's old too. I think he's like 52. Oh, like
Something like that, yeah.
You don't look 52, but alright. Cool. Good for you.
Right. Fucking Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's 105.
You got Samuel L. Jackson. You got old motherfuckers and still doing movies.
I mean, Samuel L.
It's
Jackson.
been a while since Morgan Freeman's been in a movie.
Nope. I watched a movie recently that came out like a year or two ago.
That's still a while.
Not really, because that means he could be working on something. And I know he is. I know he's in a movie that's
He's
coming
working
out
on
soon.
dying.
That too. That too. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. We just don't have. I just don't feel like there's any upcoming iconic people like that.
Nowadays, I mean, I kind of feel like there chicks. Florence Pugh. She's really good.
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. She's really good at movies. Who else is really good that I watch? I can't think of the name, but it's right there. Right there. Because, you know, we have Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's been around for a minute.
Yeah. You got all the Chris's.
Yeah, Chris.
But not iconic. Like.
Well, I mean, they're pretty iconic. Like, they are the new icons. You know, Jennifer Lawrence is iconic. Like, that's what I mean. Like, new icons? Like I said, Florence Pugh, and there's another one that I'm thinking of, but I know what you're saying. Because all the movies that come out anymore, they're not, for sure. Like, yeah, I get that. 110% agree with you. Like, they're same. Like, that's why I like watching Yellow Jackets and The Last of Us, because, I mean, The Last of Us, I can't imagine what it's like for someone who's never played the game, and then watching this, and they're like, holy fuck, this is cool, because it's like a different spin on something that we've seen a million fucking times on every other fucking thing, you know? Like, it doesn't matter how it is, zombies are the same, but in this, they're different. And so, like, that's why I'm like, you know, for someone who hasn't played the game, I wish I could play the game again for the first time, because I know how good it is. You know, and like I said, because that's the thing, is the people who are going to watch the show and they're going to be like, wow, that's cool, I want to see the game and see what it's about. And then they're going to get just fucking shoehorned away from the game. Then they've got the best of both worlds.
I'll let you know how it is.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will. But like I said, it's such a fucking good game that they did a good job. And I'll give them that. Like, they did a good job. But, yeah, no, I mean, just as far as, like, anything else, icons, movies, like, it's just, yeah, they really seem, like, Pedro Pascal, I've known him, but he, you know, he hasn't been prominent to me since I found out he was Mando in Mandalorian, you know, so that's one thing about it, that's like...
It's because he's not really in movies, he does TV shows.
Yeah.
But...
Actually, you know who's, like, really, like, was, like, the legend, and nowadays it's like, I've not so much as heard of a whisper of fart from a dust cloud. Fucking Norman Reedus with the fetus. I haven't heard of him being in anything. Norman Reedus used to be like the fucking guy 5 years ago. Like, he was the fucking guy. Yeah, like, what happened to Norman Reedus?
good question.
I'm just saying, like, speaking of legends that just fucking. I mean, I know he's doing Death Stranding 2 with Hideo Kojima, but still, fuck.
That's fair.
That's speaking of an icon. I mean, he's old as fuck. I think he's like 54 or something. I don't remember how old he is, but he's older. But speaking of legends who are just speaking fucking gone.
You know, I would like to see Woody Harrelson in more movies.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, new icons. There's Jason Momoa. He's relatively.
He is. He was also in Game of Thrones.
There's
and
Timothy
got his big
Chalamet.
break.
As much as I hate that guy, because Abby won't stop talking about him. Timothy Chalamet is a new, pretty legend, because everyone knows him at least to that point. That's why now they're coming to me. But yeah, no. At the same time, it's just no. I agree with you.
But I mean, they won't be the same.
Yeah. Well, they
At
won't
least
be
not to us.
They won't be the same because we grew up in the era where CGI was like strings in a green screen.
I don't ever want to hear you talk shit about RoboCop.
I mean, it's not shit. It's facts. But I mean, nowadays it's all computerized and digital. Like fuck, we can make renders ourselves. You know,
Right.
so that's why it's like the magic's kind of gone because we get the concept and we see it. You know, and like you just said, you're dissecting John Wick of why it's not real. I'm the same way. That's why I can't watch movies because I'm just like that's fake. Especially older movies because Abby is all about 80s movies, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I fucking can't.
That's why I won't watch anything before I was born.
Yeah.
Because it's just
I
like
fucking-
that looks like fucking shit.
I can't do it. It's usually, but it's a classic. I'm like, it's a classic pile of
But
shit.
now they're starting to use fucking
AI.
Unreal Engine,
AI,
5.1 in movies and everything. So it's
Dude, no, have you seen it? Dude, they unreleased the beta for Unreal 5.2. I have to show you.
I
after
haven't
the
seen 5.2.
I have to show you after the podcast is done because they did a 5.2 demo of the new Senua game. I was like, what the fuck? Like they did a
Just
cut.
Think about that with just full immersion VR.
I mean, we're a long way. We're a long way from
I
that.
still want it.
No, I know. The only reason I'm saying we're a long way from that is because we have to put that in a headset, like
Right.
that fucking thing.
We're in ahead.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
yeah. Fucking, we won't. They'll probably like do it when we're 90, and we'll be like, ugh!
Get it installed and enjoy fucking an hour of session and then have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go water some flowers.
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna get our next topic up, which is going to be. I mean, I guess that we were kind of already floating in it. Getting older. Fun fact: I'm old as hell. Everything hurts. Yeah, getting older is definitely one of those prospects to me that seems a little bit hit and miss because the older I get, the worse everything seems to be for me because I like first-person shooters. I don't have the reflexes for that anymore. And I play video games, but I have like a short attention span too. So if it doesn't captivate me immediately, I'm not automatically just tired of it and I don't want to play it anymore. And that kind of sucks because I wish that I could enjoy things a lot more than I used to be able to, but I don't enjoy it. I don't find the prospect of certain things like that anymore. And that's definitely one of the things about getting older that kind of hurts because, you know, I want my passions back and I feel like I can't get a passion. I could sit here and, you know, do column A, B, and C, but as time goes on, I'm just not as motivated to do it anymore. We just went ahead and hopped into what we were kind of talking about. Somehow we were leading into it because that was one of the pinpoints was getting old.
That's fair. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't either. I was looking and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the things that I see, and as I was just saying, is I wish that I could be passionate about shit again. Like, I wish that I could fucking want to be a couch potato and sit down and play a game or watch a TV show, but like I was saying, it's just my attention span just it fades for me, and if something doesn't captivate me like this, I'm done with it. It seems.
Yeah.
And yeah, that hurts a little bit.
You're right. I just don't have the same motivation or energy to fucking do anything, and I'm not even that old.
Yeah,
At all.
Well, I mean, I was feeling that way at 26, but it does get worse. But that's kind of the thing of like why I say it hurts, because man, I wish that I could sit down and play a game that I'm like, I see the potential, but I'm not gonna fucking play it. And it's like when you're like, I want to play Atomic Heart, I want to try it out, and I'm like, well, you should play it on my PC because I already own it because it's kind of fucking jank. And then you played it and you're like, yeah, that's jank as fuck, so we're both not playing it now. But
right.
But people are like, but overall they enjoyed it, so it's kind of like, so there's a game in there, but I can't fucking push myself past that. It's like, God, that sucks, you know, because there are a few games that are coming out here soon that I'm like stoked for. Like the Resident Evil 4 remake came out. I want that so bad. It's gonna be so fucking good. That's one of my like I played the original Resident Evil 4, and that has a solid place in like, I'd say that's like one of my top 10 games. And it's just because of how like arcade shootery it was at the time. They still have it, but they made it more horror. But I mean, I could push through it. It's not like 7 where I'm like, fuck you, this is gonna give me nightmares, I'm out, dog. But yeah, no, I want to play that game. There's another game that's coming out soon too that I want to play. And then me and you were talking about like Diablo 4 and shit like that. But it's like, that's kind of the thing about it, is there's these games that we want to play, but we know they're gonna be bangers. Like the unknowns are where it's like, it fucking sucks, you know. And I hate that. Like, because I feel like everything that I've always stood for as a kid, where I'm like, don't just buy the AAA games because they're gonna be shit anyways. And now that's all I'm fucking doing anymore, because I don't have the attention span for it, and it sucks because I don't want to be that way. I want to play a game that's gonna blow my fucking mind. I want to play a game that's not gonna be the same, or I want to watch something that's not gonna be the same.
And that's very, very rare these days.
Yeah. Oh my God. Tell me about it. Like, I know we've talked about this, like, sort of, but not really. So, especially with getting older, why Overwatch 2 is our go-to is because of the fact that, as bullshit as it is, it is definitely different. Like we were just talking about with the movies, there's no soloing it. There's no soloing it.
And, well, I think what I find most about it, too, is the matches feel shorter.
They definitely, yeah, I know what you're saying. They definitely are.
It's like you play one match,
and then you're in,
and then you're in the next one, and it's a lot
more stimulating.
Yeah.
Yep.
It keeps my attention a lot more than.
Well, and I know that we talk shit about it being broken or that we hate it, but like realistically, like, it is fun. It's such a 50-50 roll, because either we get in a good team, we're just fucking slamming,
right,
or we get in a team where it's me and you and we're carrying everybody, and we're hoping to God we're gonna win. And that's why it sucks, you know. And it's like, and for us, we go into unranked, we always slay, but it's always that 50-50 shot. We go into ranked, and everybody's on their A game, everybody's ready to play, but we're the weak links, so it's like, fuck.
Yeah. I've gotten into some competitive, though, where it's like,
yeah,
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Like, you know, and like like you saw it, like where people were playing and we were playing that competitive that one time, and they're like, Diva, stop fucking charging every single time, and it's like, I am whittling down the other team so you guys can make progress. Like, that is all my purpose is in this game, because we're not pushing. Like, we are not fucking moving right now.
Oh my God, that pisses me off so much. where me and you are the only ones pushing.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why I'm rushing, because if I go in and I take down, the 3 tanks that are on the other team that we're not fucking killing, I lower them down, you guys can come in and, like, at least try to fucking get one of them out and move. Like, that is the only thing that fucking just irritates the dog shit out of me. And yes, I know it's like there's the 2 game types, the 3 game types. I don't remember. I think it's the 2 game thing. There's either the territory where we capture the points, which that's the only one I want to play. It seems like, because anytime it's escort the payload, fucking, if you are on the pushing team, it just seems like either and you're fucked by the map too. Because if we're in that castle town that we were just talking about, like, you're fucked. Because the second you get to that bridge,
it bottlenecks you.
Yeah, the second you get to that bridge, you're done. You are done. And like I said, yeah, like at that one point, it's like, okay, sure, if you're on the team that's got to defend, that's helpful. But if you're on the defending team that's got to push forward, you're fucked. So it doesn't make it fun. And so it's like,
it's got more than, it's got the 3 choke points on it that.
Yeah, the 3 choke points, which is the very beginning, the bridge, and then going around that corner trying to swivel into the fucking goal.
Well, I was actually thinking into the goal, because it
the goal too.
That door.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm talking like just the whole swivel, that whole Z swivel.
Just the whole last part.
Yeah, like, and that's fucked, but. But at the same time, because there's still a chance, it's fun. As where it's like, if you're playing anything else, like how we played Apex, it's just, it's like, you're good, you're not, your KD matters, which in Overwatch, KD doesn't fucking matter.
No,
which is one thing that I think that I do like, because, sure, I am a much more accurate shot than you, which is fine, but even for someone who is accurate, I don't want that to be like the way that I am dictated whether I'm gonna win or not. I don't want my skill set solely to be the reason that I win. Like, oh yeah, my tactility, it's super cool, but I can't fucking get a headshot first try.
Even though that's the one thing that me and you look at the most is arcading.
Yeah.
At the end of every fucking match.
Like, I mean, but that's because like I said, we know we're good. Like I said, that's why I said accurate. I didn't say better, I said accurate. Like, I can definitely get more headshots in certain prospects than you can, depending on what game we're playing. Like, when we were playing Warhammer, we were getting more headshots.
I'd say, without a doubt, that you definitely have better accuracy than me. I can't. I got twitchy hands.
Yeah.
But, because I think, like, most games, I'm at, like, max, maybe 60% accuracy.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
Like, Overwatch, I'm like 35%.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing about it, is that playing, like, and like that's the thing, is like, I think that what we've done is we've built up kind of a neurotic type of relationship with our characters. Because you play as, God, what's his name? I know who it is. See him.
I play as a few. I've got
No, I'm talking like your main tank.
My main tank is Sigma.
Yeah, Sigma. But that's the thing though, so going from Tracer to Diva, I play Diva like I do Tracer. And that's what makes me such a force. Because I'm so quick and I'm so aggressive, and that just fucking devastates people. Because everyone wants, Diva to stand back and everything like that. But no, I just rush in, get 3 kills, and sure, I might die, but I just got 3 kills, took out half the other team, and now everyone's ready to rush in and fucking take, and that's the thing. And so with you play Junkrat, and so you play Sigma just so strategically. That's the reason why you just wreck shit, because everyone's just sitting there like Sigma going, pew, 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 just like, oh, I'm a tank. But you're fucking floating above everyone, you're getting into sights and shit.
And that's also the thing, is Sigma's good for defense, and he's okay at offense.
Yeah.
You just, it comes back to the same thing, it's just knowing how to play your character.
Yeah.
And that's why I play so many characters, is also because some are fucking absolute dog shit against certain fucking players.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's like you can't fight, Winston with fucking Mercy.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, that's clearly an exaggeration of.
I mean, it
opposite
happens.
sides,
Yeah, but
but-
it happens. Like at the end of the day, no, you're right. That happens though, and that's kind of the thing that I was thinking is like you can't fight Tracer against the robot. I can't think of the name on the top of my head, but the spear.
Oh, Centro?
Yep. You can't fight Tracer with her because she'll stun you, and Tracer dies so easily that if you can't defend yourself, you're done.
Right.
Shit, she's a bitch to fight against with Diva just because of the way that she is. But that's kind of the thing too, is like we're saying, is that someone has to have a step up over one character at least, so that works. But depending on how you play your character too, that can fuck someone up who's like, oh yeah, I fought 100 divas or something, and then there's you who's playing fucking diva like Tracer, and they're like, what the fuck? They're all over the goddamn place. And so
Right.
that's kind of the thing about it. Like with you, like I said, you play Sigma like you play Junkrat, and Junkrat is just a fuck. Like, we all know Junkrat's a fuck too. Like when we're losing, you hop on Junkrat and people get pissed off. Like it's just how it is. Junkrat is a fuck. But and then every once in a while, me and you will just get sick of it. I'll hop on Tracer, you'll hop on Junkrat, and we will just take shit. And it's cool to know that, but that's the reason why I think that we play it so much, is just because like we have different strategies going into games versus other games where it's like, is my shot gonna be good enough?
Right.
I fucking hope so. Because there's no like, oh, I'm gonna go from this side and go attack the enemy team. Well, bam, headshot, and you're dead. Fuck.
Right. I mean, because I think that's why I play it a lot more than Fortnite too. It's just because
Oh my
Fortnite,
God,
you jump
yeah.
in, and our strategy is let's go find somebody.
Yeah, Fortnite is definitely one of those things where it's like, Fortnite is definitely one of those things where it's like,
For a second.
truck. It's the truck in the truck. Go get it. It's in my wallet in the truck. You'll see it. It looks like a phone case. No, it's not. But anyway, so what were we saying? We were saying that depending on how you strategize, makes it better. But yeah, other games are definitely like RNG. Definitely RNG. You don't know if you're gonna win. You don't know if you're gonna lose. But at the same time, though, like I think that's why we like our stupid games, because there is skill, like by far, but it's just
You need some skill.
it's just so like just chill.
Right.
It's chill. It's easy. It's just.
And the only toxic players are you and me.
But that's okay, because we
Right.
feed off each other's toxicity. We don't fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we do. We've known each other for like 4 years now, dog.
It's
It's been like 4
longer
years.
than that.
When did you start Mauser? Because I met you 2
So that
weeks after
was-
you started.
Oh shit, that was 2018? 2019?
That's why I said 4 years. Oh no, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. I think it's 5 years. Because it was 2 weeks after you started, because you were a Packer and I came over for overtime and I met you. I remember that. And then you got promoted.
No, I started off as machine operator. I was hired on as machine operator.
Oh yeah, you were packing just.
But I was
like,
packing
training on the
because-
machines. Yeah, that's right. Because they make you do that, so you understand. But yeah, stupid. But yeah, I remember that though. I remember that fondly. But yeah, no, it's been like I said, enough years. It's been enough
It's
years.
been long enough.
It's
It's
been
been
long.
long enough. You know who I really enjoy working with now?
Huh.
The engineer.
Yeah. There you go.
Because he left. Jacob left Mauser to go to GAF.
You told me that.
He is
Yeah.
such a different person.
I believe it. I believe it.
Anyone that's not dealing with Adrian is such a different person.
Tell me about it. It's like I still think about James too, because he was such a kick-ass worker. But I'm so glad he left. He was such a kick-ass person that I was so like just
Fuck you for leaving me. Yeah.
right. But still, he was a good guy, so I was happy for him. Same when everyone was happy for me except for Mario. Are you sure you're leaving? I know I'm your best motherfucker. That's also the other thing about getting older is that, you know, like, I could say in my early 20s, I was way more, like, docile about, like, I don't know if I want to leave this job or not. Fuck, man, this is my income. Now I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'll go find a different job. Like, fucking definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely how I am, but I've always kind of been that way. Like, yeah, I'll put up with so much, but...
But I feel like even your, like, limits are a lot less than they were.
Yeah.
Like when you started at Mauser, you were there for a long time. And nowadays, you wouldn't even fucking look at a place. Like, if a place treated you like Mauser treated you, you'd probably be gone like that week.
Yep, because there's better opportunities.
Yeah. Like,
but I will say that I have always used company time to find my new job.
Yep. True that. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'll find my new job anyways, but no, I feel like that's another way of getting older that we have hit for sure. Let's see what we've got going on in our next little set of things. Things that changes our lives forever. We did kind of talk about that. Virtual reality is definitely one of the things that's going to change our lives. Virtual reality. I feel like once that hits its pinnacle, like, the human race is done.
Well, and you know, it might not be that way because, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of movies like that, and I think that's why we think that way. Maybe not a lot. But
no. I know what you're saying, but that's not what I mean. I'm not talking about like AI going rogue or anything like that.
Well, yeah, no, just people getting sucked into a better version of what they're living.
See, but this is the thing though, is it also depends on how you are. Like,
but I feel like it could go that way because people already are that way. Get sucked into TV shows. They just binge watch and sit there and they get sucked into video games.
Yeah.
There's some people that won't leave their fucking computer for fucking like 20 hours.
Thanks. I'm just kidding.
Thanks for calling me out.
No.
And I think it definitely could go in that direction. Most definitely. But I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that stopped with virtual reality because it took... This is something one of my coworkers brought up the other day. Is it took a weird direction.
No, that's true.
It went from a really cool concept, like they were saying, and I agreed with this pretty much 100%, is when going into it, it was like, yeah, this is going to be cool for first-person shooters. It's going to be awesome. And then it kind of took this weird sexual detour, and now it's kind of just like...
I do get what you're saying on that note. No, what I think it's based on is everything else. And what I mean by that is, sorry, we've got music that stopped, so we've got to go find some new music for the peeps.
Yeah, played all that. You can just play that one.
By the way, Stream Beats, Harris Heller, go check him out. He's a YouTuber. He doesn't need our advertisement at all. But that's the guy that brought you all the music that we listen to. So we appreciate it greatly. DRM free.
Hoping isn't, super loud.
Yeah. No, it's not super loud. I didn't mess with anything. It's still the same. Yeah. So we're just going to be super loud. But, yeah, Stream Beats by Harris Heller. DRM free. Thank you for letting us use your music. We appreciate it. It makes good for breaking up the silence for sure.
Background noise. Definitely helps.
Definitely helps. So thank you for that. No, what I was going to say is, like, especially to me, I don't think it's going to take, like, technology advancing. I think it's going to take the state of the world. Because, like, when 2020 hit and everything was shutting down, like, I know you remember this because, I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm a soothsayer or anything. But even you remember the day that you were doing overtime, and I told everyone, just because it's in China, it's gonna come here, and everything is gonna be fucked. And everyone was like, nah, you're not. And I remember saying it day after day after day after day, and then when it finally got to Salt Lake, everyone was like, oh my god, it's here! But that's the thing, is that catastrophic type of world event, dude, that changed everything.
There wasn't even that catastrophic.
Yeah, but everyone was inside more. Everyone was like,
it was the panic.
But that's the other thing that I was gonna say, is that I think the reason that 2020 fucked us so hard was less about like the virus itself. But sure, when the virus first came, it was a threat. Like anybody who got sick had the potential of dying. But then it just kept getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But you know, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But it was the depression. It was that everything was like falling apart for everybody because the economy was going to shit. And I think it's going to take a world event like that, whether it's us going to war or whether it's COVID 2.0, because fuck, we didn't learn our lesson the first time.
There's already been COVID 2.0.
But I mean, like, for real
2.
though.
2.1.
Yeah.
No, what really fucked us wasn't even the virus. It wasn't even that bad. Period. It was how society decided to deal with it.
Yeah.
It was the panic of the governments.
Yep.
And I don't just mean ours.
Yeah.
It was everyone.
Yes.
And it wasn't handled right. Period.
It wasn't. No, it was not handled right. But the other thing is that, like, that's the thing. Like, that's what's going to make virtual reality stick, is when we have a life event like that where everyone doesn't have a choice again and we've got to stay inside, or some weird shit like war or whatever. I'm just bringing up events that could potentially happen. That's what's going to make virtual reality be a real thing. Because then it's going to be a getaway. Then it's going to be like, well, I can't go fucking do what I want, so I'm going to get sucked into it. And I'm not going to say that's everybody, because obviously everybody's got different like perspectives on it. But for the people that like have that mentality of like, wow, there's no escape, that's going to be when virtual reality really sticks. If we had the technology, which we did not have in 2020, VR sucked.
Right.
That would have been it, and that would have been like the locking point. But it's going to take a life event like that for virtual reality to really stick. Because now we have the technology. Now VR is cool. There are games. Hell, the PSVR 2 that they released for the PS5, like PC guys are jealous of it because it's so good.
That's fair, but I want to see it take a different direction.
I know what you want to see. I know what you want to see. But
I mean, have you seen the movie Gamer?
I mean, yeah, of course. But I don't want to die in my game and die in real life.
Well, that's not what it is. I mean, it's people using prisoners as.
Yeah, that too.
And I feel like that's another direction that we could take if, Elon's chip takes off, If enough people get it, that's where we could eventually go.
That's true.
And that's what I feel like is the big thing that's going to change our society.
But I've played Cyberpunk 2077. I don't want to live that life, man. I'm good. That's scary. That's scary as fuck. I don't want to read everyone and tell if they've got a bigger dick than me. That's not cool.
I mean, no, but I just want to. I think it'd be kind of fun to make it more realistic. Like, you get shot in the game, you actually feel that, Maybe not.
They have some of those.
They have it where it like tenses up, where you get hit and shit, but
But I get what you're saying. I totally get
just
what you're
more
saying.
realistic.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, like,
it'd be more. You'd get more of that adrenaline kick from it.
Yeah. The only reason that I think it would be like, well, I mean, either way, like I said, the whole point of it is it's going to change the world. But the only reason that I say it's negative for it is because, especially depending on what age you are, that could really rewire your brain to think it's okay in real life. And that's the reason that I think it's going to be fucking like, it's going to change the world, is because either people are going to be just absorbed in this virtual paradise, which, you know what, by all means, if that's the way you want to live your life and be happy, dude. Some people just have shitty lives from birth until death. Like, they just do not get any fucking relief. And I get that. So if that's one way you want to go about it, fine. But yeah, the other side of it is like kids or whoever getting into it and they're thinking it's okay in real life. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't advocate for this because it scares the shit out of me. Because I don't know if you've heard, but Canada in the last month has been locked down twice.
Yep.
It scares the shit out of me to know that kids are like thinking that guns are going to be okay or whatever, but I think that realistically, like training them to think that that is how we should accept it.
They'll take care of that. But I feel like that's just video games in general, though. If video games haven't done that already, then I don't think virtual reality will change that at all. Now, it might feel more realistic, and that might turn more people off of it. In another note, because actually feeling getting shot would suck. So I feel like that would stop a lot of people from actually going out and trying to shoot somebody or trying to get shot, I guess. That's just, I feel like it would be a lot cooler concept to be able to be, more immersed, because you have, we've got, your flat screens, and then you have your curve monitors that help you feel more immersed. You've got VR. But I just want that next step. Just that full immersion where you're off and you don't have to really worry about anything else in the world, because you are in your own little world. I feel like that would be the best option. And it might even take the next, or go in the opposite direction, as in, stopping people from going out and committing these heinous crimes. Getting shot in a game might turn them off of going out and doing it in real life.
Maybe. Speaking of getting older and taking care of your parents because they're incapable of doing it, but whatever, it's fine. I guess you did it for 20 years. But no, I did kind of overhear what you were talking about, and I get there's an incentive, but at the same time, like I said, that's kind of the thing though, is that I'm trying to think of just the way to put it. I feel like online we build this persona because we're not afraid of the consequences. Like a lot of people do. I know me and you are different than a lot of people, but a lot of people will sit there and they'll talk shit online. And they won't mean it. You know what I mean?
Well, they try to mean it, and then the second that it becomes real, it's...
Yeah, they're like, nah.
They fucking run and hide.
But that's kind of the thing about it, though, is that that's the opposite side of it, is... there's the people who are going to grasp that concept on the other end of the stick, who are like, well, people are going to run and hide from me if I do it in real life.
Well,
so that's why, like, sure, I see what you're saying. Like, it could be a deterrent, but at the same time, it could be an encouragement too, because they're like, well, no one's going to shoot me or something like that.
There's already people that do think that way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if it would make it worse.
I don't think it would make much of a difference. That's what I'm saying. People thought the same thing about video games.
Yeah, but if you're like
first-person shooters that...
Yeah, but if you're in it and you're doing it and you're feeling it, and they're gonna get to the point where it's like, it's gonna be accurate. Like you're pointing a gun and you shooting is gonna make you better at shooting in real life.
I feel like that would also mentally fuck up a lot of people.
That's why I say that. That's why I'm saying this for, is because at the end of the day, that's what it's gonna come to. Like, as much as we hate to admit it, there's a reason that games are made the way that they are, and it's because, like, at what point is it fucking just so disgusting that we don't want to do it anymore? It's like The Last of Us Part 2. It got a lot of shit because of, I'm going to leave the story aside because I think it's one of the most trash fucking games ever made. Sorry for anybody who likes it, but the story was fucking garbage. I'm not getting into any political views about it because that doesn't faze me. It's just the story was shit. But it was so just fucking harrowing to see everything the way it was. Like you would see Ellie just slit people's throats and fucking just it was visceral.
Yeah.
You know, and seeing shit like that, like even on a screen where you're like, this is a video game, it still makes you go like a little bit. But to see it like first person in real life, get those feelings, know that if you're getting shot or someone else is getting shot, see that's the other thing is that then you're training people to be like, I'm physically hurting somebody, ha 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 ha. You know, that, you know, so no, it is going to fuck up people. But that's why I say that is because I think that, yeah, it might be cool to some extent, but at the other extent, it's like, dude, it's, I just think personally that's where it comes to a stopping point because at that point, go outside and shoot each other with beanbag guns if you really want that effect. Like, I'm just saying, like, the paintball gun, something.
There's an episode.
Yeah, that's OCL. That's not this, but that's why I think that is because
That's fair.
Yeah, just and that's another thing to me is like, video games are that escapism. They are that like, I want to live in a different world that I know doesn't exist here because fuck our world, it's fucked up. Comparatively though, if I'm playing a virtual reality game because it closes in on reality, that's where I'm like,
well, and you know, we could, you know,
yeah.
I get where you're going with this, and we could take it even off of first-person shooters.
No, I was actually legitimately just thinking that too because there is like a positive negative thing too, where racing games I think are like
see, I was just thinking Neon White.
That's cool, but I don't want to have an asthma attack during a speed run. Just saying, like, just being completely honest.
Well, I mean, and you know, but just the concept of it.
It's cool. I know.
Or
what you're
fuck
saying.
it, you could even do Stray. You could just wander around as a fucking cat.
No, and that is 100% true. No, I think, like I said, my thing is like, I think racing games are where VR is going to take off because there's so many different things that you can put into like a racing sim nowadays that make it feel real. B, you wreck a car in that game, it's not fucking, oh, I'm out 20 grand or fucking $1 million or however much.
But
you know, and C, depending on how immersive it is or how detailed it is, you know, it's like Flight Sim. They did the whole fucking world and it's procedurally generated. You know, if you could actually like drive across the U.S. or if they made it multiplayer where you're actually like driving with other people and shit, where there's just not cops but you can race people, that's why I'm like, there's a place for VR, like firmly I believe that, and it's gonna change the world. But there's certain aspects that people are like hoping for, like shooters and shit, or there's another type of game that I'm like I want to say RPG is kind of the closest thing, where it's like you're doing things in real life, like you're defusing a bomb or something like that. Those are kind of just the things that like draw me off, because I don't want to be in the real world. I want to do dumb shit that I know is not going to be.
so I mean, on that same note on racing games, but what's to stop somebody from racing in the game and thinking, oh, well, I can do this in real life, and then
That's true,
there goes
but,
their life.
But at the same time, they're not going to be driving a Maserati 9 times out of 10. And B, if they're driving a fucking Honda Civic, go ahead and get up to 100 miles an hour and then your engine blows and you're like, fuck, man. That's different than a gun. That's why I say that, because like,
well, you can kill just as many people with the car.
No, you can, and I completely agree with that. Like I said, it's that old adage, guns don't kill people. You know, and at the end of the day, that's true. But that's the opposite fact of it is that also, you get $500, you're not gonna go buy a fucking Bugatti. You get $500, you can't go buy an AR. Like I said, this isn't about gun control or anything. I'm just saying that the accessibility is there. And that's why I see it being problematic as far as that's concerned. Can it be cool? Could it change my mind? Sure. I mean, prove me wrong. Is it going to fuck the world up? I mean, absolutely every piece of technology has fucked the world up. If you want any demonstration, just look at our phones.
Yeah. So another direction with this that I wanted to bring up is virtual reality that kills you in real life.
I mean, yeah.
There is a place for that, I feel.
Like for prisoners or something.
Well, no, for... Well, okay, now...
No, and I'm not talking like that though. Like,
I mean,
no, I'm being realistic. Like, I'm saying like what you're saying is true. But say that you have a death row inmate, and you go, well, you can either die, or you could take this virtual reality. And it's like, in virtual reality, they live a hard life, like just fucking gruelingly hard. And I'm talking to the point where we can like physically shut down our mind and be in the game. Just say we're to the concept of what we're talking about, you know, chip in the mind or whatever. And they can either live this gruelingly hard life for the rest of their lives, or they can just be dead. But if they try to break out of that, then it kills them. Like, that's something I can see, because that's the thing, is like, it's giving someone a second chance to not be behind bars.
Well, and this is
without letting them
direction I was going in. But I do have to say this, you know, if you are feeling suicidal,
please
call the helpline.
Please get help.
Get help.
Seriously, it's not a
But on that note, that could be a good alternative.
Yeah.
For someone that just, they're done. If they're done, they're done. That's that. But they can go into this virtual reality world. If you die there, you die in real life. That could be something great for, chronic illness or elderly.
See, but at the same time, then it would still be A, considered suicide, and B, there is another thing that I would go as far as to say is that would be one of the healing properties. So
and it could be.
So if we could, that would be one of the times where I would say like getting shoved into that world would be beneficial. Say you have a chronic illness and you're like just doomed to sit there.
You're on your deathbed.
If you could have a chip put in your mind and you could like virtually live a different life, like it's all in your mind, you're not thinking about your illness or whatever, you're just existing as you were, that would be where it would be like, holy shit, we're helping the world. Is it going to get to that point? No. They're going to look at that as like a last resort. Like,
right.
And that's kind of why the world is fucked up, is because if it's for a beneficial cause, we're going to do it last.
Yep. If it doesn't make money, it goes last.
Yep. And that's exactly like what you're saying. That's like, I'm on the opposite side of that fence. I don't think you should kill yourself. I think we should allow those people to live in that paradise. Well, to have that mental relief, because at the end of the day, if it's like, you know, if they just hand you an option where it's like, hey, you can live in VR and kill yourself and then you're dead in real life, or you can live in VR and your brain's shut down from the outside world, but you can live a happy rest of your life that's not in a bed. I mean, I know what one I would take.
Yeah, and they could also, you know, give an option.
That's
you go through so much, and then you say, okay, is this really what you want?
Yeah, and that's kind of another and see, this is the other thing that makes me kind of strangely curious, because as far as VR, like, this is where I think it's going. Say you take someone with autism, you put a chip in them, all of a sudden they can communicate.
So I was thinking something similar, but for vegetables.
Well, that's what I mean. Autism, vegetables, you know, just some people like that. That's why virtual reality could be totally different. You know, they're just on the outside, but then you throw like their subconscious up on a screen, because obviously they'll have that technology, and then they can communicate just properly. That's fucking wild. That's some shit that I would be like totally down with to see. But that's why I'm saying it can change our entire world, because are we gonna do the right thing? Fuck no. But the possibilities are endless. Like, that's the thing, is like, we're not gonna do it. We're you know, and everyone's worried about AI, and I even watched this interview with this guy who's an AI programmer, and he was like, first off, we should not allow AI to become sentient, to sit there and think, well, why am I doing this? Why am I letting humans boss me around? Second off, no. You know, like, reality. And everyone's worried about AI because of the Terminator, but like, the thing is that AI, we have to have, I'm trying to think, vessels. Vessels. We have to have vessels for that to be. We have to be making fucking robots. that are AI before, because like I said, our computer's not going to get up, walk, and shoot us.
Well, no, but if AI did become sentient and they take the internet as a vessel, that could completely screw, your banking, they could fuck up a lot of shit without
that's
a physical vessel.
That's 110% true too. But like I said, but everyone's worried about world ending. I mean, at the end of the day, like we were saying about phones, was it smart for humanity to put everything on the internet? Absolutely not. Because we are one major outage away from the world ending. And that's the whole world, not the U.S.
Yeah.
That's, if the internet died tomorrow, that's it. We're done. And to think about that is fucking retarded because, oh, cool, we don't have any money anymore, so we have no form of commerce. Oh, they can't access their bank servers to see how much money we have so that way we can have physical currency so we can buy stuff.
Or even just anything that's stored,
anything.
Product designs, anything like that. The best you're gonna get is something in a filing cabinet 20 years ago.
Yep.
Because everything is stored online now.
Yeah, and that's what's so stupid because, we did that to make it convenient for ourselves without addressing, because obviously I'm sure we're not the only people that think about this, what the actual issue could be if the internet were to die.
Or even if we lost power.
Power's huge too, because that's still internet.
Everywhere went around, we'd be pretty much fucked. But on that same note, the world has ended before.
Yep.
I mean, civilizations have been recording shit.
Oh yeah.
In books, and where did all that go?
Yep. Well, that's the thing is, where did they go? They don't exist anymore.
Exactly.
These civilizations are just done.
Well, no, I meant the records of those. We have a very, very, very basic understanding of what happened.
Yep. And you're right. It's because those civilizations were ended by these things that happened, and that's why they don't exist anymore. That's why we don't find anything about them rebuilding. Everyone is thinking, USA or just name it. Name your country. It doesn't have to be USA because I know everyone thinks that the US is the most powerful, I want to say region in the world, but there's a more detailed way of saying it. But regardless of the fact, everyone thinks that the US is just untouchable. But the truth of the matter is that, it's like Rome, Greece. These people, if we went to war and it was not guns, they would fuck us up. They were so strong and so fucking smart that we wouldn't stand a fucking chance. They were ruthless, aggressive, they don't give a shit. And their economy was great, that's why they're in history as some of the greatest. Sure, they might have fucked up living conditions and stuff, but that technological advance is less than them being dumber than us.
Well, and their civilization was kind of treated like shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so, why is ours different? What would make ours any different?
It doesn't.
And so this is the thing is that, and that's why the strong survive, but the strong don't try to rebuild it because the strong understood, well, we were fucked up to begin with. I don't want to do that again. People talk about it. We talked about it before, and this is going into getting older as well. Motherfucker, healthcare is provided in different countries than ours, where healthcare will drown you here. Healthcare is fucked up. We can't get it. There's people who are dying, and I think we're the number one country with health issues, if I recall correctly. We're definitely the number one for obesity. That's just a fucking fact. Because fried and fast food is just readily available here.
And it's delicious.
It is delicious, but it's just, that's how it is. We're not healthy as a society.
No,
and we know it. And like we were talking about to you guys, mental health is definitely one of the most important things because that'll fuck up everything else. But realistically, the mental health of Americans is worse than most every other place, and that's because America is a lot less about let's get you better so you can do the best job and more about you need to do your job. We don't care how you're feeling.
I would disagree. I wouldn't say America's the worst. I feel like it's just.
Okay, no,
I think
no.
it's just as bad everywhere, just different circumstances.
Okay, I would say that like Russia too is pretty bad. I've heard that Russia's pretty bad. Russia's just you need to be strong or you're weak and you're
Or
useless.
like any third world country,
Yeah.
or
That's
I feel like it's just our society as a whole.
But that's the thing though, is at least there you can go get help somewhere. It's affordable, or they provide it, or it's within reach. But that's the reason why I'm saying America's worse, because how much is a therapy session? Hundreds of dollars for one? You don't get fixed in one. It takes like maybe a year or two or more. You know, there's shit you gotta unpack and talk about depending on how big your trauma is, which, by the way, we all have trauma, so we're all fucked up in some degree capacity. That's why I say America's the worst, is because, yeah, sure, down there, sure, they might treat you that way, and their mindset might be the same as ours, but at least they're like, but if you want to get help, go get help. Here, they're like, do you have the days off to go to your therapy appointment? That's fucked. That's where it's like, do you realize I'm not going to do a good job at work if I'm thinking about some shit that I saw? Like, if you're some dude that saw someone get shot, or watched your mom die in front of you, or some traumatic fucking event, and then your work is just like, well, do you have the days to cover it? Really? Like, yeah, that's why I say we're the worst. That's the only fucking reason I say we're the worst.
Yeah.
Is because, like, it's this downtrodden of, like, ancient ideals that we still think we have to follow. Nah, you're a man, you're strong, you're shit like that. And it's like, yeah, I'm strong, I'll fuck you up in the parking lot, but my brain right now is not doing good. It is black mush, and you are fucking with me, and I want to hurt you, because you do not even fucking remotely see, like, how anything is going right now. And that's one of the strongest standpoints to me of why it's a fucking problem. Because at the end of the day, taking care of yourself is so much more than healthcare, which, as I just said, we don't even fucking have. Like, healthcare might as well not exist in America, because you might as well sell your house if you want to get anything done. Because tens of thousands of dollars, like, oh cool, yeah, I can't save up for a car, but now the hospital's going to take everything from me instead. Yeah, that's logical. No, it's not. And, you know, mental health is even so much worse, because that's where that becomes a problem. Is I feel like America has taken mental health and made it into a joke on purpose, and I stand by that, because people don't go to a therapist to get help. They go to a therapist to shop for a therapist. So it's costing them hundreds of dollars to go from this therapist to this therapist to this therapist until they find one that fits. Now, is that because they're seeking to even get help? Or is it because A, they're cheap, or B, this therapist is what they want to hear, see? You know, this is why I say that mental health in America is a fucking joke. It's not taken seriously. It's not a serious matter to anybody. No one gives a shit, because we can just go around and find what we want to hear or what we want to pay.
That's true.
And that's why it's different. You know, in other countries, like, I mean, I'll even be the forefronter to say this shit. You know, like in Britain, you all have to have the same qualifications. They don't give a shit about ideals or anything. You learn the same shit, and you have the same understanding of what it is, because you are not allowed to relate to your patients in that way, because what you're trying to do is help them, not associate with them. And in America, we are spending too much time trying to associate with our patients than treat them.
Well, and you know, just thinking of that, but you also got places like North Korea.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
China.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
And even Africa, in the Congo.
Yep.
Where you've got just kids.
Yep. Starving
working
to death.
harder than most of us.
Yep. Starving to death, not getting proper nutrition. But that's the thing, though, is that we all know that's a leadership issue, because the ruler's living like a king.
Well, yeah, and that's just.
I mean, that's for Africa and North Korea.
Now we could say that America is maybe the worst first world country.
No, and I agree. There's third world countries.
There is a lot worse that we could be doing, but it is bad.
Yeah, and
I agree with that statement. It is bad.
No, and I agree with you too. Like, that's 110% non-negotiable. That Africa, North Korea, those places are shitty places to live. And sure, they might not be for the same reasons, but those reasons can be worse. And I agree. Like, there's children that are starving in Africa. You know, as much as that's almost a meme at this point, it's still the truth.
There's fucking children starving in America too.
Yeah,
and we're a first world country.
Yeah, there's children starving in America, and that might. But that's the thing, is we have the resources, and we shouldn't be doing that, but we do.
It's because we are a very industrialized, greedy country.
Industrialized, greedy, fucking centuries-old morals country. Because, you know, women stay home, make babies. Men work hard and don't have life or feelings. You know, and that's
not even an ideal anymore.
You
can't even live off one income.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. You know, you can't. And that's the thing, is like men. So I saw someone talk about this, and I don't remember where it was, YouTube History Channel. It was just some fucking random thing that I saw that was discussing the ideals of how humanity is living, and it was like, you know, the reason that the employment situation is the way it is because people even 70 years ago who were willing to work in these conditions, now that the children have grown up and are working in these conditions, you know, they were spineless men back then. And the reason that, like, you know, our dads or whoever, because they're hard asses, or they're like, we're working every day, is because, you know, we had the balls to say, this is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know what you see in this. This is a dead-end job. Like, I want more with my life. You know? And so that's why it's hard, because they're trying to assimilate this reverse role for men to be like, oh no, you just get a job and you stay with it because that's what you're supposed to do. But that thinking is so fucking closed-minded because, you know, like they were saying, the reason that our generations are succeeding so much more is because, you know, we have the balls to say, no, fuck your company. Fuck you. This is stupid. You treat people like shit. I'm not going to work under these conditions. As we're, you know, the people who've been there forever, they're like, oh, at least it's a job. No, there's another job out there. You know, and that's what changes everything for every perspective nowadays. And that's why everyone's like, oh, the social status is fucked up, you know, and that's what we were talking about basically. You know, everyone's like, the social status is fucked up because of the attitudes that we have.
Well, and it's also just to kind of throw this all into, you know,
one bowl, yeah,
into the pot and say it, and it's also because most people still have that mentality of, you're the man, you provide for your family, but we can't afford that anymore, so that drags down our mental health a lot, and it's just, at this point, you're just chasing a pipe dream.
Well, and the thing is also we understand that, I think the hardest truth that a lot of people are coming to realize, especially in this day and age, is what is the American dream anymore? Like, get a house and a car. You know, but this is the thing, is that a lot of people work and then they get that and they're thrilled, but the rest of us that like have half a fucking brain, that were raised up to see what fuckt up shit goes on in the world, they're like, but then what? And that's the question.
Get the white picket fence. And, but you can't even do that because the second, I've got a house, but now I've got fucking 30 years of a mortgage that I can't afford.
Exactly. And, you know, this is the thing, is that, you know, that's not living. Like, nobody wants that, you know? Like, most people are thinking, like, no, how can I get more income? You know, because I want these things, and then the people that attain these things are like, cool, now I'm bored, what do I do with my life? Because that's not the American dream. The American dream is like finding your inner happiness or
doing what you love doing.
And they don't want us doing it. They don't want us to see that that's not how it's supposed to be.
That is the American education system.
Yeah. No, that's
outdated and fucking garbage.
Yeah, like the memes. And, you know, I hope that anybody listening to this really takes this to heart. But the jokes that you might see, especially if you're in high school or something, I hope you're not watching this, but if you're in high school or something, and you see the memes about, like, cool. I'm glad you taught me calculus, but you didn't teach me how to do my fucking taxes. That's some real shit, dude. At the end of the day, once you get a job, taxes are fucking important, and they will make or break you. Like, you know, but they don't teach that in school. But that's a part of you being an adult. So, sorry. Like, yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking trash at this point.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah.
It's the reason... It's the way we are.
Yeah. And, you know, in English... Like... English is outdated to a certain perspective, but it's important. I feel like English... believe it or not... I would even go as far as to say the two most important classes that you can take in school are English and a second language. Because if you can speak any amount of a different language, that completely opens the door up for you to more opportunities than if you fucking know calculus like the back of your hand. Like, no company gives a shit if you can do calculus, but if you can speak to an immigrant that they're hiring, you being a translator automatically makes you a fucking shoo-in. Like,
well, and I mean that you know depends on the position, because you know knowing calculus like the back of your hand can bring you into more opportunity
programming too, yeah,
or engineering, or
it's
you know,
true.
you do have more opportunity that way. Now I think English is important to an extent.
No, you know what? I'm actually like I will fucking throw my 2 cents out there straight up. And say the one course that is fucking outdated beyond its necessary requisites is science. What the fuck are we even teaching in science? Like, yeah, that's what just I don't understand. Like, oh yeah, we have 11 planets because Pluto doesn't exist anymore, so we're gonna learn about that for 3 months.
And you know, the way I wish it was is they'd give you, you know, like.
No, I wish that they would teach you shit. I know what you're talking about. I wish they would give you, like, subjects that matter.
And I'm trying to think of the right way, like your technical colleges.
Yeah.
So, like, they have a course on this and a course on this that you can choose from, and they kind of do nowadays, but it's not
branching courses.
But that way you can spend your schooling days learning a bunch of different shit and finding what you like in life, instead of trying to do that when you need to make money.
Yeah. Instead of the fucking
have to pay bills.
Old school thought process, like we're just talking about, where it's follow the fucking human agenda because you're gonna get some fucking burger flipping job, so you might as well know the same shit as everyone else. That's 110% correct. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, that's absolutely true. If you want to be a computer programmer, or if you want to fucking build computers, like we might be talking a lot of shit sometimes about computers, but realistically, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing when you're building a computer, it's a lot of goddamn work. It took us, what was it, 4 or 5 hours to put your computer together?
And it can cost a lot of fucking money if you
yeah,
fuck it up.
Like, it's like, we're not kidding about that. It takes, that's why it's a hobby, is because there is a lot of fucking skill, and if, like, I guess we can go ahead and jump into the last pinpoint that we had, that companies that we would start together, like, I know that we would build a computer building business if we knew it wasn't a dead end. Like, every single computer business is a dead end unless they are proprietary in some form or another. And it's because
there's just so many out there right now too.
Yeah, and they just all go bankrupt because the profits, like, I know that a lot of people see it, and I don't think I would be comfortable with fucking people over like Corsair or Origin do, because, like, in our episode that I don't remember if we got up about building a PC, we talked about how pre-builts will screw you over on certain areas that are probably dictating the most important areas of your PC. Like, they might give you a 3070 and a high-end power supply in a Core i7, but you have a 500 gigabyte M.2 and that's all you have in your system. Which, storage is one of the most important components, because, dude, if you can't save shit, what are you doing? You're playing one game.
If you can't download games,
you know, and if you only have one stick, your OS is on that, any program you download is on that, and I don't know if I would be comfortable with that. Like, that's the one thing I don't think that I could do, is just You know, and I mean, fuck, they're charging $400 for something that's like, what we did the math. It was like a $2,000 system. Like it was ridiculous. You know, and I couldn't do that. I know the profit and margin would be like $500 every sale, but that's the thing. Then that's to go towards the next build, or you know,
right. It's the labor cost.
Yeah,
that is just.
So that's why it's like I like, yeah. If I knew it was profitable, if I knew it was not something that was like slow margin, or you know, obviously it's niche because you're asking people for thousands of dollars. So it's hard to justify like someone, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it like a PlayStation. Like, no, that's 5 times the cost of a PS5.
Right, and it's, you know, we did do the math on it, and you know, there's a pre-built that was $3,000 that you could build for $1,200.
Yeah, that one was stupid as fuck because that's,
and it's
absolutely
like,
nuts.
God damn, like that's
a lot of upcharge for nothing.
And then you've got the other part of it, and not, you know, just building computers for people, but you could also do computer repair.
Yeah, but computer repair is a lot. That's the thing though, is that leads into more technicalities, because then you're talking about fried circuits on the motherboard, which you have to have a better understanding, or graphics cards that are dying because the die is sliding off, and that's what I mean. Those are specific properties of like, that's almost a whole other dimension. You know, putting together a PC for us is easy because we grasp the concept, but we had to learn. It was painful, but that's something else you have to learn. It can be painful, but at the same time, you know, it's
troubleshooting a PC is a lot more painful.
And yeah, that's one I wouldn't do just because I don't want to do it for myself, you know. But
right.
But like building something that you know someone's gonna enjoy. Like, dude, you can play 144 at 1440p. You're gonna have the time of your fucking life. You know, that's why it's like nice. I know we would do that as a business if it was profitable, but it's not that profitable.
Right.
You know, and if we were smart enough to know, I feel like there are certain PC components that we would want to build too, because they're just so garbage. AIOs, CPU coolers, they're garbage. They're all bad. They're all shit. God, they suck. I get it that there's like, you know, thermal science and shit like that to it, but they suck. They fucking all suck. Like, they just suck. Power supplies, I know there's just different ways of doing power. Like when the Corsair, they did their inputs on the side. That was the most genius fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. You don't want your shit going into the fucking front of your case. That's stupid, because then it's got to go back around. Like, you know, they're finally starting to get it, but you know, but I don't have a grasp understanding of it. But there is one thing that I would say I would go into: custom mechanical keyboards. Why? A, easy. B, relatively inexpensive. C, super fun to do. And D, people give you money and they'll wait a year before they get their keyboards. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, custom mechanical keyboards would be one that I would go in with you on for sure, because it's just wild, but it is a hobby that people can afford.
Well, and here's the other side of it, is it wouldn't be very profitable because there are companies already standing that you can customize every step of it.
No, there are.
And then you just hit build for me, send.
Yeah, well, see, that's the other thing that's kind of making it so that way it's hard, is because of 3D printers. 3D printers are making this hobby kind of hard to justify, but it's still cool to have a CNC piece of aluminum like this, or metal, or whatever, you know. And if I did understand it, that would be a company that I would go in, because, like I said, I have fucking 3 custom keyboards in this house, 4 custom keyboards in this house right now, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's an addiction, but I like it because it's fun. But that's the thing, though, is, you know, if you're someone like Keychron, or if you make a company that's, you know, cheap, I think that's where the money is cheaper keyboards, like plastic and shit. Because, dude, everyone's looking for a cheap electric keyboard that you can customize.
Right.
That's where the money's at for sure. Like this is definitely niche. you are someone out there who wants to get into custom mechanical keyboards, please don't.
If you're someone out there that wants a fucking 20-pound fucking keyboard,
Yeah, like, unless you're looking for a weapon to beat someone with, you don't need that.
home security.
Now, the feel of this keyboard is definitely better than, like, most. Even he agreed, like, it's one of the best keyboards that someone can own. This is an expensive keyboard. And that's the thing, is like, sure, if you're all about typing, like, if that's your day job and you want a custom mechanical keyboard, go nuts. Like, if this is what you do all day, sure, I get that. Like I said, I'm not even fucking talking shit about it, because I am in this world. This is my fucking problem too, and he's not objectified to it. He just bought the Wooting because it's better for gaming. Like, keyboards are so fucking stupid at the end of the day, but that's what makes them fun, is because we know they're stupid, but they're fun to fuck around with. It's like anything else that we have, I'm trying to think of a proper, like, thing to say, but I don't know. Like, I mean, for me too, overclocking CPUs or GPUs, people ask me about that a lot. I get a lot of questions from people. Like my brother, I got a question about it, and he's been building computers for longer than I have, and he had a couple of questions about overclocking, and I had answers because I like to fuck around with it without burning it to the ground. But these are specific things that are like, those are niche. You couldn't make a company out of it.
And there's also things that you think that that's just niche, you can't make a company, and there's plenty of them out there.
Yep, that's true too. That is true.
Even if we went as far as architectural design.
No, that's
making building plans.
That's 110% true.
See, that is something that can always be there.
Yeah, that's something that, well, and it doesn't even have to be building plans. I mean, fuck, you can sketch out a design for a keyboard, for a new mic, for a chair, for a gaming setup. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that even fits into that to some extent, because but I will go ahead and shut that down too, because I feel like the point of entry for that's pretty damn high.
It is.
AutoCAD and ArchiCAD and even Google SketchUp, like, they're very difficult to run. And it's because you have to know what you're doing, because, yeah, sure, you can put together something that looks like a pile of shit, but if you're looking at something that's going to be a thing someday, it's fucking stupid.
I mean, it's not that difficult to put something decent together.
Yeah, but to make something that you're going to put into production, yeah, that's where I'm like, it's a lot more hard to do.
It's
because
like trying to use Google SketchUp for fucking building plans.
Yeah,
is a pain in the fucking ass. Just takes time.
Yeah, it does take time, and that's the most friendly one. If you're talking about like AutoCAD.
What do you mean? AutoCAD is fun.
AutoCAD's fun, but good fucking luck at the same time getting everything like perfect.
Right.
That's why it's like, yeah. So the point of entry is just insanely absurd when it comes to stuff like that. But no, I know what you're saying entirely about niche things that might not seem like they're niche when you break it down, because they might have companies. So I mean, I haven't seen an overclocking company, but no, there'd be a few things that, like I said, if we were going to start a company together, there'd be a few things. There'd be a couple things that I would definitely at least look into. Like if the podcast took off and this was our job, and we were like, we want to do something, there's a couple things I'd want to look into. Like, I would definitely look into like how to make a better AIO. I just would see what the fuck it would take to build a nice AIO for a fucking CPU, especially with how hot they're getting anymore. Like, our 5950X is run hot. 7950X is like got a 90C ceiling, and I'm like, no. And sure, I can hear some of the computer nerds out there, what about just liquid cooling your entire system? Bro, I don't want to fucking have to maintenance it every 2 months, because you know what water does? You know what water is? It's a solvent. It will degrade shit over time. Like, that's what it's meant to do. But
Well, and you've got your mineral oils, and
yeah, like
there are other things out there that you don't have to maintain as much, but even then, it's just.
it's still a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the dick. You can't move it anywhere because you might spill liquid. Just assembling it, good god, for anything. Oh, I've got to upgrade my graphics card. Cool. I got to drain the entire loop, take off all the pipes. Yeah.
For you, maybe, that fucking takes your goddamn computer apart every fucking chance you get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. I mean, like, but seriously, say you've got everything in your fucking system water cooled, but then you get a brand new GPU. Guess what that means? Draining your loop, making new hoses, making sure everything fits. Like, fuck that. Like, that's why I'm like, it's annoying, but an AIO is a definitely easy solution. Like, by far. It's easy as fuck. And, like, I know your system isn't, like, totally optimized for airflow, but I know mine is more restricted because I have two AIOs technically in my system because of the Kingpin. And that's one of the things that I hate personally. Like, if I was to make a graphics card, I would make the AIO modular. I would make it so that way you can unscrew it and hook up, like, hosing, so that way you can run it all off of one system if you wanted to. But just the pumps and shit are still the same in the block. Right. So that way it's not fucking wasting your time. But that, because like I said, you've seen it. Sometimes I've hooked it up so that way the hoses are like, and that's not cool. And I know, get a different case. Fuck you.
Go fuck yourself.
We literally said that my case was the best for building in. You're stupid. We voted it on our PC building on Overclock Life. Like, that was the one we chose, was the 7000D.
Yeah, your case is the most practical.
Yeah, like sure, you can go fancy and shit, but we were being realistic. Like, even for our Threadripper build, I think we put it in the 7000D. Or did we put it? No, we put it in the 7000D. Because the Obsidian was just, we'd have to water cool it. So it was too much.
I think that's what we agreed upon was the 7000D because everything would fit and it just work.
Yeah, so that's a concept that you got to think about too. That's crazy. Is this case, as impractical as you might seem, like, it fits everything. It's huge, but it fits anything.
I still want to try out that fucking wall mount.
That's no, really though. Like, you're not even lying. Like, that's still.
I want to know if it's actually functional.
I know it's functional. I see.
Well, I mean, like, for cooling, because at that point, it's not just you got to worry about, ambient temperatures of the room and.
Yeah, I know it. Well, see, this is the thing too, is that at the end of the day, you're still gonna have to worry about ambient temperatures, but if it's open, that's my phone.
Okay.
But if it's open, this is the thing, because you're taking whatever air is in and you're sucking it into that box. So then it's obviously going to get heated up in that box because it's constricted. If it's open, dude, fuck it. Then it's still the ambient temperature.
Now, I didn't agree with how that one was, how close it was to the wall. Because then there's not.
See, but I found a little side trick. You go and buy a 32-inch wall mount, and you screw it to that. And that way it's adjustable. That was something I saw recently that I was like, that's dope. But, no, dead ass. Like, once I start this job and we have time to do an overclock life, we should definitely buy a wall-mounted PC and at least do, like, something with it. Like wish parts or something.
Well, for that, I think it'd be best just to get a test bench.
Yeah.
But.
Well, that too. Well, that's what I mean, but. Well, because Overclock Life has a couple of episodes coming up. We're going to do. Probably not the next one, but the time after. We're probably going to do Cable Management 101. Where Caden will bring his PC over and we'll do just like an hour or two of cable management. Just to show you guys how to do it, like, decently, because I know for a fact his fucking computer is a rat's nest. So we're going to do that to show you guys kind of how cable management can help, because realistically, when you have a bunch of cables, you're going to get electrical interference. And that's one of the main reasons why. And B, it does make it look nicer and makes it easier to do. Just the one thing you need to do is use, like, Velcro instead of cable ties. Cable, or not cable ties, but zip ties. Yes, use Velcro instead of zip ties because zip ties are a pain in the ass if you fuck up. Because then you're like, oh shit, what am I going to do now? Now I have to cut everything off. Trust me, I've learned that lesson. But, no, but, we're going to do that one just to dictate and show what's possible and how to do it because a lot of people do get confused on like how to do it. And the reason that I didn't want to save my PC case and I wanted to do his is because mine is actually easy. Like my entire back is open. His is actually a pain in the ass. He has a block where his power supply is in the back, so it's hard to route shit around that. He has this side panel piece that's kind of jarring, and so that would be a good place to take that and do that. But on top of that, what we were saying though is to like maybe depending on how I feel, I was thinking about finding a big boy and taking all of my 7000D out and putting it on a wall mount and just showing people how to set up a PC from start to finish. Because I was thinking about that too. Because it runs so hot. I know the 7000D is great, but it runs so damn hot that I know open air would be just better for it.
Right, and that's one of the things that I was thinking is because I've been looking at upgrading to AM5.
I mean, I am too later. Like, I want to wait 6 months. And the reason I want to wait 6 months is because of chip updates. Because it is unstable right now from what
Well, and that's not what I'm saying. I mean, well, okay, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say I'm going to go out and do it next week.
Yeah.
But I am looking at upgrading to the AM5 platform. And I'm pretty sure the next one is going to be the wall mount because that'll free up so much desk space.
Yeah.
Because my biggest issue is that ultra wide.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's fucking annoying.
It's true.
It's a great monitor, but
yeah,
it's fucking annoying.
It is annoying, no, and I completely agree with you. Like, that's the thing, is like that monitor, like, point blank and simple, they need to make a fucking wall mount for it. Because that monitor is so big and so annoying that, and that's part of the reason why I sold it to you. Like, and I was talking to Dakota about it because he helped me do my OS and everything, redo the windows on it and everything. And he goes, God, fuck, your monitor's bright. And he was in disbelief because he's like, there's no way you're running games at 4K, anything close to 100 hertz. And I'm like, I actually do, believe it or not. I said, but the reason I got it was mini LED and because it was easier to deal with. Because, yeah, your monitor, is fuck heavy. Holy shit. That motherfucker is not something you're just going to latch onto something. Like, no, it's not happening.
No, that's got to go directly into, like, studs.
Yeah, like, it's fucking heavy, and to top it off, it is always in the way. Like, it's in the way. So making a wall mount for it would be, get it the fuck out of the way, have it like a TV arm where it can swivel and shit, just perfect. Just, because it doesn't matter how strong your fucking table is. Sure, you can buy the stand for $300, but I think your table's gonna go snap. That shit's heavy. I'm not even gonna lie about it. That shit is fucking heavy. And see, and I think that's the only reason why you would consider upgrading to like an OLED monitor is because A, it's gonna be way the fuck lighter, like way the fuck lighter, and B, it wouldn't be as obtrusive, and I'm sure it'd be easier to like do a desk mount. And on top of that, you're getting OLED, but still, like, because I've been thinking about it too. Like, I've been really thinking about it because I have my two monitors. I love them to tears. I really do. But, if they came out with like an ultra wide, make it 175. Well, actually, no, a lot of them are 175 hertz. Make it an ultra wide 1440p 240 hertz monitor. Like, that has OLED.
That would be primo.
I'd jump on it. I would jump on it for sure.
Right, yeah, because I don't know. Ultra wide is fucking awesome, but...
See, and that's the thing, too, is like, that's why it's hard, too, because yes, ultra wide is awesome, but at some point there is something more intimate about just having a screen like right here, especially with FPS games. Like I feel like that to me works better because sure you can see more, but I feel the field of view is just warped as where everything is like right there.
But it's only on some games too.
Yeah, it's only on
like
some.
Overwatch 2.
Yeah, no. Well,
Doesn't support ultra wide.
but that's the thing too. Is like it doesn't support ultra wide, but at the same time, even if it did, you wouldn't get much benefit from it because you're not trying to head scope people.
Right.
So there's no need, But Apex supports it, but that's just like, at the same time, it. I know you get used to it, but it fucks with you, because, you're not. It's not this is what you see. It's this is what you see, and you have so much more to turn. But because of the perspective, it's like warped in, and I know that's like not a big deal, for games, fucking perfect.
Like Fortnite supports ultra wide.
Yeah, Fortnite and because it's third person, it's fucking tasty juicy. I love it. I really do. And all that shit like the Samsung OLED. Oof. Hell yeah.
Damn it.
That's okay. But the Samsung OLED, tasty juicy. Juicy tasty. Like, I want that motherfucker so bad. But, now comes the problem that we're talking about where you can just stand it on its butt. It'll stand up straight by itself. Because that might fall.
Well, it's out of my reach.
Okay.
That's
but at the same time, now there's this argument about QD OLED, which is more color accurate. Colors are brighter, but its burn-in is worse than WOLED, which is traditional OLED. So it's like you get an LG, and you know what you're getting, and it probably burn in like 3 years. Or you get a WOLED, have a better experience, but it'll burn in like a year. So that's kind of why OLED's still like, mini LED, it's not as good, but it's close.
right.
And that's the only reason why, to some extent, I still stand by mini LED. Like, sure, I would love an OLED, but there's that problem of like, my mini LED is not going to break. Like, unless it physically breaks. And then it'll be under warranty. As for my OLED, it has burn-in. They're like, that's what they do, sorry.
Right.
So
Pros and cons.
yeah, pros and cons of it, but still, like, if Samsung made an updated version of their ultra wide that was mini LED, that would be okay. An updated version that was mini LED that's not their fucking 8K panel. God. Then I'd be down. Like,
Yeah.
then I would be down. If they got that tech in an ultra wide, I'd be down. Like, for sure. It wouldn't even be a question. That'd be fucking so cool. And I know mini LED is becoming more prominent. And, I like my screen brighter. I wouldn't want it auto dimming, which all OLEDs do. They auto dim because they're trying not to burn in the picture. That would piss me off. But, in retrospect to it, just there's a lot of things that are just beneficial in so many other ways, and your monitor is great. It is one of the top monitors, and it goes for hella cheap nowadays. I think you can get it for like $900, which is crazy because it was like close to $2,000 when I bought the fucking thing. And there's just a lot of benefits, but retrospectively, there's a lot of different ways that you could do setups, and a lot of different ways that you could do things that would make benefits and upgrading worth it, like how you were talking about AM5 and stuff like that. And I think that kind of leans into what we drifted off to, was the benefits of AM5 are kind of waning in this regard too, because you hit your cap. Even with your setup, you'll get most games maxed out settings 240 hertz. And so it's like, what's the benefit of upgrading if that's all we're going to get? And so that's the reason why I like the personal experience too. Plus, like that 4K screen is just crisp. It's fucking crisp. looks great too. 4K, we're getting there. 3 years ago, it was a joke. Now we're getting there. Like, we're really getting there. We're really, really close. It's expensive, but we're getting there. And for people like us that are uploading YouTube videos and we need the post processing, I mean, even though this M1 Mac does a great goddamn job somehow, still, it doesn't hurt to have that fucking extra horsepower because, like we were talking about offset, where you have the 500 hertz monitors, those are CPU bottlenecked. Those are not GPU bottlenecked. And so that's why upgrading to AM5 would be way beneficial for us too, because it's going to hit a point where games are going to be harder to push at that 240 hertz, or they're going to have accessibility for 500 hertz or whatever it is. And like, I know it's kind of glitchy and it's neither here nor there. Like I said to you off camera, my monitor I turned down to 120 hertz because it was glitchy at 240, because it was the first 4K 240 hertz screen.
Yeah, and the main reason I want to upgrade is so I can get the same results, but have to put less into it.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna make a call real quick. Talk to the people. I'll come back. We'll get them out the door.
Okay. I mean, that basically kind of put us where we needed to be, because that's about the bottom of where we were going to end today. Let's see, we did that one. Yeah, basically that's where we were going to end today, because that was the end of our topics for the day. Let me hold this up really fast. Alright. But yes, that's what I was bringing it to, was that's the only reason I would upgrade, because I can run everything just fine without any problems. But it would be nice to be able to run the same way as I am now, but not have to worry about temps so much, because I'm not pushing it as hard.
Right? Well, I mean, at the same time, though, they run hot. The new CPUs run hot. I mean, I should say the Ryzen 5950X runs hot because the insane lengths you have to go to, like, calm down the 13900 KS is like a meme at this point, because it just gets up to like 80 no matter what you put on it. So yeah, no, like, you have to have an extreme water cooling system on that motherfucker to like keep it at 60, which is crazy. So no, I agree, but that's part of the reason why I'm like waiting to see, because no, they just run hotter and I don't like that. I mean, I want to keep it down low so that way I can have my boost clocks. That's just me personally, but no, they just get hot as fuck. They just get hot as fuck. So
right, which is, but that's what I'm saying is, even if I had upgraded, or if we upgrade, then we could still run as we are running now, but with have to use less processing power.
Well, no, because depending on how it goes, it might just like, because it'll still, like, technically, unless you use a frame rate limiter, like, if you let it go unlimited, it'll still push out as many frames as it wants to. It doesn't mean that our screens will process that, but that's the only way that it would use less, is if we used a frame rate limiter.
That's what I'm saying. I could run and be just happy just limiting it to fucking 120 frames per second and be just fine.
I would want it just because of the, like, the 3D cache that allows games to run better just in general, because gaming on it is awesome. And I would want it for just knowing that I have the headroom, and DDR5, of course, because DDR5 is substantially faster. Like, I mean,
right, that would be
DDR5, DDR5 RAM and DDR5 M.2s as well. Like, those are fucking fast. Like, I've seen them; they're stupid fast. Because I think that they just unveiled one from Crucial. or someone did. I don't remember who it was, but it was one of the first DDR5 M.2s. Motherfucker has 13 gigs a second. That's double the fucking speed of what we're running now.
Right.
Jesus Christ. That's quick.
Yeah.
That's quick, buddy. That's like a quarter of a game a second.
I could live with that.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. There's multiple reasons of why I am interested in it. Is it for the gains? No, because if I wanted gains, I'd go buy a 4090 and set my house on fire. Like, let's be completely honest, the 4090 is just ridiculously powerful at this point. It just runs everything, almost whatever you want. You put a limiter at 120 frames, it doesn't matter if you're running 4K 1440, like, you're done. You've got your end game PC,
Right.
pretty much. You know, the 3090, we've discussed it. The reason it was so good is because it was almost there. It's edging me, but it's not quite there. You know, but ray tracing kicked its ass, and that's part of the reason why, like, especially when Cyberpunk came out, you know, you can crank all the settings, and I could play it at, like, I think 90 frames a second at 4K, but the second I turn fucking ray tracing on, it drops down to 30, and that's just where it lives. You know, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Right.
The 4090, it goes up to 120 frames a second with DLSS on. Whatever. It's a chonky fucking boy. And AMD needs to pull their head out of their asses and fucking make a goddamn competitor. You know, like, please, for the love of God, AMD, we love you, but why? Why you do this to us? Why you leave us with the fucking 7900 XTX or whatever it is? That sucks. Like, it competes with the 4080 for 4080 prices. Like, I hate that. Because I wanted to go AMD so bad this generation. I was so fucking ready for it, too. I was waiting for that $1,000 graphics card that was just going to whoop ass. And they didn't do it. And I was so sad. I was like, dude, why?
Yeah. Maybe they still might.
No, they won't. They actually went on record and said it was unconventional for them to compete with the 4090. I don't remember what the thing said exactly because I just read the headliner, but yeah, they said it was unconventional to go with the 4090 because it would have cost like $1,300 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's not the point. Dude, the 4090 starts at $1,500. I get it. You can undercut them, but only by a little, but it's not that. It's just like, okay, if we're throwing ray tracing out the window, if we're looking at like the 3090 compared to the 6950 XT, the 6950 is a fucking beast. It is a monster. Like, toe to toe beats the 3090 in some aspects. Like, you throw on ray tracing, sure, it's garbage, and that's why the 3090 is so fucking powerful. But that 6950 XT was a fucking monster. Like, you were looking at getting it just because you knew the games were stupid, but you only went with the 6800 XT because you're like, this will run what I need to for cheaper. Like, you didn't want to go the 6700 because you knew it wouldn't do it.
Right. Yeah, I didn't go with the 6700 because it wouldn't do what I wanted it to, and the 6800 XT was a happy medium that fit my budget.
Well, and he overclocked it, and it literally just performs. Your 6800 XT performs. Like, at the end of the day.
It does what it's supposed to.
Yeah, it like performs even better than it should to some extent, but that's part of it too, is that like to have an in-game AMD GPU though, like, that's kind of why it's like difficult, because do you live in the land that ray tracing is actually going to be a thing? Because even Epic with their Lumen is ray tracing to some extent, so that's kind of why it's any Unreal game, which is fucking almost anybody anymore, is going to have ray tracing. So AMD's got to shit or get off the pot when it comes to that. And depending on how they handle it, sure, you know, I could see them taking the lead again or whatever. But that's why this generation was so important, was because ray tracing isn't that prevalent yet. They could have made a mark, and they could have actually have fucking put their foot down and said, no, we're gonna outclass you in every fucking facet capacitable. Like, we can run this 4K 240 hertz monitor, you guys can't. Haha, sucks to be you. And that would have been like the middle finger that everybody needed. you know. And I know people are still holding out for the Intel Arc GPUs too. Like they're hoping that Intel comes out with a GPU that'll work great because there's the rumors of the new one that's outperforming the 4080, and it's going to be like $800. So that's promising, but at the same time, second generation hardware. Like they've got a long way to go before I would consider buying an Intel GPU just because their first one was just not that long ago. And
Yeah.
the bugs and everything, like it's been everywhere about how they run and they're cool for certain games with their low power. You know, if they were to make a King Kamehameha GPU, that's cool and all, but is the reliability of it going to be like super cool? No. And I'd worry about it more and more just because going down the line. You know, it's like there's 3080 Ti's. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but it was a Diablo 4 news article that kind of came crashing down recently where Diablo 4 was doing what New World was and ruining computers. And it's because there were certain solder points on a 3080 because of COVID that were shit that they were breaking computers again. Because Diablo 4 was so fucking just high intensive on the closed beta.
I've not heard about that, but that's interesting.
Because, yeah, so that's what I mean is the QA control I also worry about. I mean, I know Intel's a lot better about QA control than most people are. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. But
Is it enough?
is it enough? Is it going to be warranting? Like, at the end of the day, people are going to be chasing some form of performance. And I mean, we're hitting the point in the next 2 generations where 4K is going to be the standard and 8K is going to be what we're trying to achieve, which is a lot of ask. I know we talk about this a lot, but like breaking it down away from how stupid 8K is, that is a lot of ask for performance.
Right.
Like you're talking, we're going to be able to run 4K at like 360 hertz before we can match 8K at 60. That's a lot of fucking ask, dude. And so, yeah, that's why I'm like, you know, where is the line of what's going to matter? And that's why I'm just so disappointed with AMD, because they could have done it this generation. They could have been like, we're in game, here you go, Merry Christmas. You know, and sure, maybe they're waiting until the next generation where it's like, okay, here you go, here's your 4K 300 potato, whatever, you name it, hertz gaming GPU. It's going to be $1,000, go nuts. You know, which would be cool, but what is NVIDIA going to do by that point? Because this generation, they came out swinging. They 3 times the performance of a 3090, which is fucking stupid, but they did it. You know, and so are they gonna, you know, are they gonna 1080 to 2080 it, where it was like, cool, ray tracing, but the performance gains were that much? Or are they gonna 3090 it to 4090 it, where it was like, holy shit, this is stupid?
I don't feel like the next generation coming out is going to be that much better. We've kind of hit that point where there's a limit.
Well, there is a limit, but
until some new technology is made, there's a limit.
Well, there is a limit, but like we just said, 3090 to 4090, we thought, how could it get better? But they came out swinging. Now, is it going to be a Hail Mary? No, they're not going to do it 3 times in a row. No. That's why I think, because the 2080 to the 3090, the 3090 was the miracle one. That was the S tier NVIDIA GPU because it did what everyone was finally hoping it would do. Like, we were not even close to 4K, let alone maxing out 1440p at that point, and they came out with a GPU that just did it. It just did it. And there's so many facets of like how far can we go, you know, but this is the thing, is that, you know, then they showed we can do 4K at high frame rates with the 4080. But that's why, if AMD comes out, is it going to be too little too late? That's the only thing that I'm worried about. Because, yeah, sure, this generation's going to be cool because, you know, everyone can actually get the GPUs. And I think that's the reason why it's going to be a too little too late. The 3090s were like waiting for a Christmas present. No one could get them, but when you got it, it didn't let you down because it was worth the performance. Now everyone can buy a 4090 for MSRP. It's still too expensive, but you can find one. And so that's why I'm like, is it going to be too little too late? Because you can almost not find a 7950 or 7900 XTX. And even if you can, the Red Devil is the one you want to get because it's the more powerful of them, plus the coolant's better in it. But it doesn't perform up to a 4090. It doesn't even perform close. It actually nips at the heels of a 4080. So you're looking at like just a high overclock 3090 Ti performance, which is like you almost did that with the 6950 XT.
And they could have just released this because they have something else in the works.
Yeah, that's true. I know what you're saying, that mid-season release.
They could have just released it to say, okay, here's something. Yeah, it's kind of but we're working on something better.
See, but this is the other part, though, is that the 4090 Ti is in the pipeline. NVIDIA has said that. And then it's like, what's the point? Because you either have to outright beat the 4090 Ti at that point, like outright, or what are you doing? Like, you know, if you're competing with a 4090, but the 4090 Ti is out there, and we've seen the performance gains of the Ti variant, there's no point. Like, there's absolutely no point. You're giving someone a factory set overclocked GPU to the nines, and as you know as well as I do, overclocking your GPU to the nines gives you exponentially better performance. And so, yeah, what's the point? That's why it's like...
And I mean, it's... unless they shit the bed.
Yeah, and they could shit the bed because they definitely did with this whole release so far. You know, there wasn't a budget one that did good because their budget one was in the same ballpark as a 6950 XT, which is like obviously going to do better than the budget one. So, right. Yeah, everything was just fucked.
And, you know, with them lighting on fire and all.
No, that was the 4090.
The 4090, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the 4090's lighting on fire. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying on that note. But that's the thing, though, is even the 4080 Ti's, they're still badass cards.
Right.
And they're selling for as much as the 7900 XTX. Yeah, so that's why it's like, you know, NVIDIA has to come out with something that's the same as a 4090 this next generation for AMD to even begin to start to get up ahead.
But I can also see NVIDIA rushing themselves.
I feel like that's what they did with this.
Fucking it up.
That's what they did with this generation. Because, like I said, it was perfect. Like, it's the perfect storm. That graphics card is fucking the monster everyone's been waiting for, by far. And DLSS 3 is just, perfect. I think there's construction going on. Sorry for the background noise if there is any, but
yeah,
DLS3,
you can hear it.
Yeah, DLS3 is just fucking, it's perfect. It's so good. It's the best iteration. You know, that's what I'm saying. Everything about it. The ray tracing cores, the DLSS functionality, the performance in general. And yes, it's a big ass chunky boy. It's a big motherfucker.
Massive.
It's a big motherfucker. Like, you need a huge case to put that bitch in there. You know, but that's part of the reason why AMD could have fucking won this one. Like, they really could have. They just had to fucking do it. They just had to let it go. AMD or NVIDIA already fucked themselves. Their cards caught on fire. They were too damn expensive. They're too huge. You have to buy a whole new case just to fit the motherfucker in it.
Say at this point we're gonna all have to start buying either open cases or fucking Corsair Obsidians just to fit a graphics card.
No shit, huh? Like, that's not even a lie. And that's well beyond the point of...
Like, for all I fucking care, put the same shit, just make it smaller.
Yeah. Well, and see, here's the thing, though, is that, like, I think that's where we're bottlenecked because we had to increase the size of them to make them more powerful.
Well, and I know it's the same thing that happened with phones, and that's what I'm kind of hoping for is, you know, yeah, you start out with this big fucking chunky waste of space, and then you know, I feel like that's the direction I would like to see it going, is making it...
See, I will straight up say something that's even more maybe controversial, because it would have to flip the entire script up, everything upside down. Make vertical mounts like just the standard. Make the PCIe pin go at a 90 degree on the back end so that way it's just vertically mounted all the time. I don't see why we couldn't do it, because that would eliminate 90% of the fucking problems. Like,
Yeah, that could. I mean, that would, but that only works for some cases.
no, that's what I'm saying though. I'm not talking like vertically mounted like mine, where we have a riser. I'm talking about coming off of the graphics card, make your PCIe connector 90 degrees. So you just click.
Right.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Make it mandatory. Because that right there is going to fix not the length problem, but the thickness problem. Because a lot of the problems now are that people are putting these fucking graphics cards in their system and it's blocking off, like, your M.2 slots and shit like that. Or what have you. The thing is water cooling these motherfuckers are insane. And yeah, I vertically mounted my Kingpin because it's not in the fucking way of everything. Because it pushes out too damn far, and my AIO for my CPU can't do it. Because I have to have clean intake going into my CPU radiator instead of the hot outtake, or else it gets too damn hot. Right. And that's what I mean. There's just so many substantiating factors of like what the fuck makes it worth the while that I can't justify it not being in a vertically mounted position. Even so, unless I put it on the bottom rack, which then it would only get Gen 3 speeds, which I don't want. And that's the reason why I just think it's so stupid, is because there has to be a change. And that would be another thing, is have a change in how we cool the graphics cards. That would make everything different too, because 90% of the graphics card size is the fucking cooler. Yeah. Because I think that the 4090 is, like, no shit, I think a 4090 is as long as your phone without all the graphics and cooling and shit, or without all the cooling and shit on it. It's short, but we made it bigger so we can push it harder. And hopefully we don't get to that point, but even so, even delegating the size of it and making it smaller, that's when technology's got to change, because it's got to be different in order for us to shrink that performance down. And even so, like we've talked about before, that's the reason why I think that NVIDIA and AMD, I think AMD shit the bed, is because what are we fighting for at this point? It's not 8K. And even if it is 8K, why? Because what are we going to do with it? Because everybody's going to play at 4K. Anybody with a brain cell, because, like I said, I'd rather have high frame rates than fidelity.
I would see, my next step is I want to get something that makes the power that I have now in something the size of that Mac.
Yeah, like SFF, small form factor. I know what you're saying. And so that's fair. I like a small form factor build. I like the Xbox builds, where they're just, and that's right. That's true. It's a pain in the fucking ass to carry around something that is so fucking heavy and thick that it just sucks.
Say even my case is compact, but it's
still a pain in the dick. It's
thicker than yours, and that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, it's thicker than mine. It's definitely not as heavy.
No, it's not as tall either, but yeah, it's thicker, so it just takes up more space.
Yeah, and so, I know what you're saying. But that's also why open cases work, because wall mounting, and then they're out of the way. So like I said, there's a point and a purpose for any different kind of casing. But, yeah, getting to the point where our fucking performance is just outlandish in a small form factor, that's going to be super cool when we get to that point. But at the same time, it's then it would make it a little bit harder, because we'd have to cable management, it'd be so small. And like I said, I like having the case where I could just lay my PC down and I could work. Your PC was hard because it was smaller to do that in. So a small form factor has to be I did it right the first time, because I'm not fucking doing it again.
Right.
So that's kind of why it hurts. But anyways, in regards to that, I think that we drug this one on long enough. I think that was 2 hours.
Oh, we're over 2 hours.
Yeah, so I think we'll cut it here. because we went on rambling, but that's okay. This will be a good episode. This one will last. Hopefully, it'll keep people entertained. But, anyways, on that note, guys, we hope that you have a good day. We hope that you guys are doing all right out there. I know we talked a lot about sensitive subjecting like suicide in the world, and don't let it get you down because at the end of the day, even though we know it's shitty, it can get better. Not saying it will, but it can.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Like really, like if you need any help, whatever it is, call a prevention hotline. Call a therapist. We know we talked about how outlandishly expensive it is, but it is worth it. Just do whatever you can, and really have a good day, you guys, because that's all we got. It's just these days. So until the next one, we have been the T&C Hysterical Podcast, and we hope you guys have a good one.